What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Round 8 recap of Season 1 of the SBL. Hope everyone's been enjoying Sun and Moon now that it's out pretty much everywhere, but for now we're going to focus on SBL. And joining me today is a very special guest. She is the only girl in the SBL, and she's the queen of the memes herself. Here come Dat Luck.
What up?
Perfect answer. Alright, so Round 8, getting kind of close to the end here. And I believe this was the first round where people were able to clinch or lose their playoff spots at this point. It started getting real. Alright, and before we get on to the matches, we have a couple of transactions to talk about. And actually with these two transactions, this was actually the final round of transactions, so any transactions made here were the final ones of the season, and every team's roster was locked after that. Alright, so the first one comes from Omega and the Philadelphia Tyranitars, as he chose to drop Dragalge and pick up Machamp. To be quite honest, I don't really know what to make of this trade. I mean, I knew Omega was kind of wanting to get rid of Dragalge for a little while, but to be honest, at the time I didn't really see why he chose Machamp out of everything that was a free agent in Tier 3.
It might actually been a wise choice because I looked at his team and he seemed to have a lot of special attackers. He could have used a physical attack on his team.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Machamp, yeah, he's pretty good at that physical attacking thing. I mean, he can run the no guard with Dynamic Punch, or he could run Guts, both of which are easily viable options. And really, what he's losing in Dragalge, like you said, a special attacker, a pretty good special attacker at that. But maybe in the long run, Machamp will end up fitting his team better.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see as the season goes on. Alright, and our second transaction comes from ACAT and the Columbus Chatots, as he chose to drop Gastrodon and pick up his mascot, Chatot.
I never knew Chatot potential until I actually battled with Chatot and it used Boom Burst. It was terrible.
Yeah. To be honest, from my perspective, I mean, the mascot pick, it's always fun to have, but Chatot kind of goes against ACAT's philosophy from my perspective, and Gastrodon kind of fits it because ACAT's a bulky kind of player, and Chatot has very little bulk, if any.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But hey, I remember him saying, a couple rounds before he made this transaction, that Chatot's really fun and he should pick it up, so hey, maybe Chatot will end up being really fun.
Yeah.
But what he's losing in Gastrodon, I mean, a bulky water, which he already had one of in Slowbro, and he really wasn't bringing Gastrodon to too many matches, so I guess it's not a huge loss on his end. I mean, Gastrodon, it is pretty bulky, and it can be a little versatile, because it can do a lot of different things, but oh well. He's got Chatot, that's all that matters now. Alright, and now let's go ahead and move on to the matches. Our first one of the day comes from ACAT, actually, as he and the Columbus Chatots faced off against Zap and the San Diego Electivires. To the match, ACAT brought what I'm going to call a Megazard X and friends, those friends being Skarmory, Slowbro, the new kid Chatot, Whiscash, and Umbreon, and Zap brought Tangrowth, Salamence, Frostlass, Ampharos, Melodic, and Claydol. This match here was a prime example of a sweep. Well, really the first turn wouldn't have really given you the idea. The first two turns, really, because it was... Let's see, I think Zap led off with Claydol, and ACAT led off with Whiscash. And then Zap immediately switched to Tangrowth as Whiscash set up a Dragon Dance. And then the Whiscash just following Waterfall didn't do a whole lot to Tangrowth, and Tangrowth was like, Power Whip, you out of here. But then after that, ACAT got
Probably
it.
wasn't the smartest choice to keep it in.
It wasn't, but with Whiscash going down, then ACAT got a free switch into Megazard X, and of course Zap wasn't going to keep in his Tangrowth against the Megazard X, so he switched that into, I think, Frostlass because it was sashed. And then came the Dragon Dance. And that was honestly the end of the battle right there, almost. Yeah, after Megazord X got up the Dragon Dance, Frostlash tried to Destiny Bond it. And Megazord X got off a hit, bringing the Frostlash down to its sash. No, it was then that Frostlash used Destiny Bond. But then, ACAT played around the Destiny Bond perfectly again. It seems like people are starting to play around Destiny Bond a lot better lately. And he went for a second Dragon Dance as Frostlash then used Shadow Ball, and then Megazord X killed the Frostlash, and then it killed everything else on Zap's team except Tangrowth of all things, because he was running Dragon Rush on Megazord X for whatever reason. I mean, it is stronger, but it has lower accuracy. And Tangrowth is the one that killed Megazord X in the end. Irony of ironies right there.
One thing I do want to point out is how Milotic flinched when Dragon Rush was right there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I think Zap already pointed it out, but I think that flinch was the thing that kept Zap from winning. I think he could have had a strong chance of winning if that Dragon Rush didn't flinch, because I know Milotic standed a chance against that Charizard.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I kind of forgot about that until you mentioned it. But yeah, the Milotic flinched against the Megazord X, and like Lux said, that pretty much sealed the battle. But then, yeah. I still find it so ironic that Tangrowth was the one that killed Megazord X. Like, oh hey, Megazord X kills everything else on the team, and then it doesn't kill the Grass type, which it's super effective against, and then it dies to said Grass type. And then after Megazord X went down, all ACAT had to do was send in his Skarmory, use a Toxic, and stall like he stalls. And that ended 4-0 to ACAT.
That stalling was really painful to see, but I mean, I did the same thing with Clefable.
Yep, that poor Clefable. But yeah, I mean, I tried to defend ACAT after the battle to Zap, because Zap was like, he could have just used an attacking move to finish off Tangrowth, he didn't have to stall me out. But I tried to defend ACAT and saying, his Skarmory probably didn't have any attacking moves because it's ACAT.
Yeah. I think he had Brave Bird like one game, but I think he probably changed it.
Yeah, because he only showed Toxic, Protect, and Roost. I would guess his last move may or may not have been Stealth Rock. Or maybe Defog or something like that. Or Whirlwind. What have you, I don't know. But yeah, that was ACAT's like third win in a row, and I think that was Zap's second or third loss in a row. Kind of continuing each other's streaks.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I don't know what's happening with Zap lately. I mean, it just kind of felt like he's just kind of losing the plot a bit. Because early on in the season, he showed that he could hang up there with the best of them. But as of lately, it just doesn't seem like he's had that same kind of inspiration anymore.
I just hope he got a bit better luck next time.
Yeah, I do too. Alright, and with that match out of the way, Lux, your match is next. As you and the California Volbeats took on Crimson and the Arizona Arcanines. Alright, Crimson brought Infernape, Caracosta, Togekiss, Mega Manectric, Weavile, and Bronzong, and Lux, you brought Cloyster, Breloom, Volbeat, Mega Tyranitar, Mismagius, and Xatu. Lux, say what you will about it.
This game, but my Legion of Spicy Boys did pretty well this turn.
Spicy Boy?
Yeah, I named all my Pokemon Spicy Boy this time around.
Because why not, right?
Yeah. So I sent out Xatu because, I mean, I didn't really believe he would send out any hazards, but I just took Xatu for Reflect, and luckily it helped with Cloyster because I sent him out right after the Infernape was out, so that kind of kept Cloyster from, well actually no, because Cloyster had a Sash, but I mean, in close combat didn't do very much to Cloyster, and I was able to pretty much do a lot of damage with Cloyster after that. But I kind of made a mistake of keeping Cloyster in with Bronzong, and he took me out. And then I sent out Breloom, and then he switched out into Manectric, and I made another mistake of keeping him in because I knew Mega Manectric had Flamethrower, and yeah, that kind of messed up my team. but I was able to do a lot with Mega Tyrannitar, and I had a lot of luck with hacks.
Yes, you did.
Especially with the Ice Punch. I think I brought Ice Punch with me, and then I froze the Togekiss.
Yep, you are the queen of the hacks.
I'm kind of glad I brought in Miss Magius, because I was able to get that Paralysis Hex off. That helped with the Caracosta.
Oh yeah, because he was more than likely running Shell Smash on that thing, like you always do with Cloyster.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty good battle overall. It ended in a 1-0, so hey, that always means it's close.
The most annoying thing that I would point out though is the Togekiss. Even though I froze it, it was just really bulky, and I kept missing those stone edges.
Oh yeah. Like, if I recall, I actually think I may or may not have actually helped Crimson with this team, and I had told him to put the Charty Berry, the Rock Resist Berry, on his Togekiss in case it absolutely had to come down to Togekiss versus Tyranitar, but clearly that didn't work out.
But it still helped. It took away half the damage of the Stone Edge that actually hit.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, a lot of it... Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, the last was pretty much Volbeat just trolling. It was just stalling as the Sandstorm took away damage, and then pretty much that was it with Tyranitar and Bronzong. But I think I don't know who I was paralyzed by, but Tyranitar had paralysis, and then he tried using Gyro Ball, even though the paralysis took away a lot of my speed, so...
Yep. And then he wondered why the Gyro Ball wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, but if I wasn't paralyzed, you probably could have done way more damage.
That's true, but you also could have killed the Bronzong faster too. With the crunch. But yeah, poor little Volbeat didn't actually get to do anything. It kind of just sat there, take a couple flamethrowers, said, "Hi, how you guys doing?"
Poor Volbeat.
Yeah, as some people call it, Trollbeat.
Yeah. He's bulky, I'll give him that, though.
Yeah, for a PU bug, yeah, I will very much agree with that. Yep, ultimately this ended in a 1-0 win for you, Lux. And that put you in a better position as far as playoffs went.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Crimson's playoff positioning was progressively getting worse at this point.
Poor Crimson.
And there's still 3 more rounds after this, so honestly, both of you had chances to make it or break it. Alright, and speaking of make or break matches, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Omega and the Philly Tyranitars against Iron and the Germania Nidokings. To the match, Omega brought Mew, Arcanine, Mega Blastoise, Mandibuzz, Gardevoir, and the new kid, Machamp, while Iron brought Gofagrigus, Scrafty, Nidokings, Sylveon, Electivire, and Chinchino making its season debut, after I was the one that originally picked it up, then traded it to him. Alright, now this match I will say was, I believe, one of 2 matches this season that I actually did not get to watch live because I was busy. But that was actually a pretty good match.
Yeah. I honestly had no idea who would win this match. I was kind of tied between the 2.
Yeah, because Iron shows promise at times, but Omega, of course, hasn't lost a game yet this season.
Undefeated champion.
But the way it started out was kind of Gofagrigus dictating the pace a little bit because of the Nasty Plot and the red card that it was holding.
Yeah.
Which I believe after the Arcanine used the flamethrower on the Gofagrigus, the red card brought out Mandibuzz, which, you know, it's okay to get a dark type out on Gofagrigus, but Gofagrigus is really physically bulky, or bulky in general, honestly. And Mandibuzz isn't the greatest offensively. I mean, it's okay, but... And... yeah, once Gofagrigus revealed Hidden Power, Omega decided to play around with that for a little bit. And then he roosted, come to find out, oh, it's HP fighting. And then, a few more Hidden Powers later, down goes Mandibuzz.
Yeah, and then Mega Blastoise just ends Cofagrigus with Dark Pulse.
Yep, that's what he can do with Mega Blastoise. There were a couple other interesting little perks in this match. Like, I'll point out the Sylveon real quick. That was a Choice Spec Sylveon. That hurts no matter what.
Oh. With Hyper Voice, it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, even Shadow Ball, because that was one of its other moves. We didn't get to see its other two. But the Shadow Ball was able to take out the Mew, which, as we all know, was a thorn in my side last round.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll give credit to Iron's Cinccino as well, as it picked up a kill in its first battle of the season against that Arcanine, after Arcanine took out Scrafty.
Oh, with Rock Blast.
Yep.
Cinccino's fun to use, I guess, with Skill Link and Rock Blast Bullet Seed.
Oh yeah, Cinccino's really fun. It's fast.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't stand up to my champ, even though it had a Focus Sash. It had the Focus Sash, but then got confused with the Dynamic Punch, because that's what Dynamic Punch does. And then Cinccino hit itself in the face and went down, so that did not give Machamp its credited kill. RIP.
But it kind of crippled it at least with Thunder Wave.
That it did, which allowed Sylveon to come in and revenge it. Which the fact that Omega reacted in the way of saying, "Oh shoot, that thing's Scarf," which made me think the Machamp was Assault Vested. Either that or Omega had a lot of special defense investment on Machamp. But it came down. Yeah. Eventually, it came down at the end to Mega Blastoise and Gardevoir against Nidoking and Sylveon. And Mega Blastoise was easily able to take out the Nidoking, no problem. And Omega ran Flash Cannon on Mega Blastoise just for that Sylveon, which ended up working because for whatever reason, at the end there, Iron decided to use Shadow Ball on Mega Blastoise and not Hyper Voice. With the Shadow Ball...
I think he was just planning to use that Shadow Ball if he was Choice for that Gardevoir, just in case he was able to beat that Blastoise.
Yeah, probably. But it's
I
weird,
think that's what he was thinking.
Either way, the Shadow Ball didn't kill the Mega Blastoise, and then Blastoise was able to kill Sylveon and then give a 2-0 win to Omega to keep his streak undefeated, and at this point, Omega's playoff spot was clinched. So Omega was the first to get his spot into the playoffs.
Omega.
Yep, I think everyone felt that way at the end of the season. Because, like, oh hey, Omega just keeps winning and winning, is he ever going to lose?
Mm-hmm.
But, again, I'll give him credit though. He just seems to get better and better with each match. And I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. He's been playing really, really well with his team.
Yeah.
As for Iron though, well, this season hasn't been the best, but he's put on some entertaining games, I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just see how far these two can go.
I agree.
Alright, and we'll save the best for last. Just kidding, my match wasn't even the best match. Yours probably was. Alright, my match is the last one, as my squad Diancie United took on Arctis and the Green Bay Pachirisus. To the match, Arctis brought Megachomp, Latias, Entei, Whimsicott, Magneton, and Zoroark, making its season debut. And I brought Gliscor, Mega Aggron, Celebi, Skuntank, Aromatisse, and Hydreigon. And this battle, I'm just going to point this out right now, my team was way, way too defensive for my own liking. And I really don't know why I went so bulky.
You never have too much bulk.
What are you, A-Cat? Anyways,
but you could probably use some attackers.
I mean, I did run some offense. I ran oddly offensive Gliscor and oddly offensive Mega Aggron. I remember that much.
Yeah.
Alright, now we'll point out that this was actually my Skuntank's first appearance of the season, because I did bring it in round 2 against Meat, but I never actually sent out Skuntank, so... But I did send him out against Arctis here, and that was my Skuntank season debut. And spoilers, it's the only match that he appeared in the season. But he actually did exactly what I needed him to do. Because at the beginning, his Latias was it was trying to trick away its probable choice item. I think it was a choice Scarf. And he was kind of playing around with that for a little bit. And eventually, he was going for Psychic left and right. As I sent out my Aromatisse to get out a light screen, I was running a weird dual screen Aromatisse. Yeah, probably not going to do that again. Aromatisse needs its leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, I finally figured out, oh wait, this thing's probably choiced into that. So I sent out my Skuntank, did nothing. He tried to switch Latias out. Nope, Pursuit. Bye-bye, Latias. But I will give Arctis credit though for the Zoroark set he brought. I actually think that was a choice specs Zoroark, and that did a lot of damage to my team.
Yeah, with the flamethrower I saw. That's what I noticed the most about the match, is that Zoroark, how powerful it was.
Or that, or he was running a weird flamethrower Whimsicott, which, isn't actually legal. Another interesting thing that happened in this match was the mega matchup between Garchomp and Aggron. Let's see, he sent out his Mega Chomp on my Gliscor as he set up the Swords Dance, and I U-turned out into Mega Aggron. I just barely lived an Earthquake and then killed Mega Chomp with Ice Punch.
I thought at that point it was going to be a Garchomp sweep after that Swords Dance was set up. I got really scared for that Aggron.
But nope, that's why Mega Aggron's been so valuable to me this season, just because it's so bulky. And that bulk has been the difference for me in some battles.
Yeah.
Although there were some questionable plays in this match. To be quite honest, I don't know why at one point he kept his Magneton in on my Gliscor. I mean, it's a ground type against a Magneton. And I will reveal that I also got the idea for my Hydreigon set from Mega Mogwai, aka Miguel, the coach of the Real Marilyn, the GBA, and UCL. That's a plug towards his channel. And I remember seeing one season in the GBA, he ran a physically defensive Hydreigon to counter an opponent's Entei, so I decided to do that myself. And it actually worked. I had a physically defensive Hydreigon, and I was able to use that against the Entei pretty much exactly as I planned to. And at one point, another point in the battle, it came down to our grass types, Celebi and Whimsicott, kind of staring each other down. And I pretty much made my Celebi able to take on that Whimsicott no matter what. I was just sitting there between their exchange thinking, I'm winning this exchange this whole time, and that was actually my Celebi's first kill this season, period, even from when he was on Pip's team. Never got a kill with Pip, so. And then when I picked him up, he still hadn't gotten any kills until this match. So, good for you, Celebi.
I think towards the end it was just all stalling with Toxic and Roost.
Yep, that was most of my Hydreigon set. But after I Toxic stalled the Zoroark after it gave me a couple flinch scares, I decided to finish off Entei the proper way, and actually killing it with Dark Pulse, and I redeemed myself from my last match and picked up a 3-0 win.
I'm just kind of glad you ended it with Dark Pulse instead of just stalling.
Oh yeah, I have more respect for Arctis than that.
Yeah, it pains me to see people stalling for that long, but I mean, it wasn't that long of a stall since you finished it off.
Yeah, really, my plan was to kind of stall out a little bit, just to where I could get to the point where I could kill him with Dark Pulse, and just end it right there. At one point, I also kind of freaked out about his Flare Blitz burning my Hydreigon, but then I was like, oh wait, Hydreigon don't care. Yeah, there was some good in this match, and there was some bad. I knew Arctis was freaking out about how to take out my Mega Aggron before the match, because he directly told me that. And he definitely had some good ideas. I mean, he had the Swords Dance Earthquake on Mega Chomp, he had presumably Choice Band Flare Blitz, and then Choice Specs Flamethrower on his Zoroark. So yeah, Arctis had some good ideas going into this match. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if Arctis can bounce back from this loss and his last few losses, actually, in the future.
Yeah, I hope so.
As for me, well, let's see if I can keep up this form and kind of bring it back. Alright, and with the matches out of the way, we'll go ahead and get to the standings real quick. Alright, at the top of the table, surprise, surprise, it's Omega, 7 wins, no losses, and a plus 15 differential. And second place was me with 5 wins, 1 loss, and a plus 17 differential. Then came ACAT, 4 wins, 3 losses, a plus 8 differential. Then came Meep, who had off this round, 3 wins, 3 losses, and minus 2, and actually, Lux, you had the exact same record and differential at this point. Then came Crimson, 3 wins, 4 losses, minus 1. Then Zap, 3 wins, 4 losses, and a minus 3 differential. Then came Iron, 2 wins, 4 losses, and minus 2. Then Arctis, 2 wins, 5 losses, minus 6. And dead last is Rock with 1 win, 6 losses, and minus 24 differential. And at this point, I believe Rock was mathematically unable to make the playoffs at this point, so he was the first person eliminated. RIP.
Yeah, poor Rock.
Yep, it's been that kind of season for him. But yeah, at this point, there were some kind of strange scenarios to clinch playoff spots. I don't really remember them because in real life that was actually a long time ago. So I don't really remember them off the top of my head, but at this point, playoff spots were up for grabs. And elimination was a reality for some people. Alright, and with that, I believe that wraps up the Round 8 recap of Season 1 of the SBL. Lux, do you have anything else you want to close us with?
Memes. Actually, good luck to everyone else in the next games. I hope everyone has some luck and
Indeed.
don't get hacked by me.
Indeed. Alright, and with that, we'll see you guys next time.